Hey everybody, welcome to the stream. We are about to get started. We're going to go ahead and if everybody can just introduce your characters and who you are, and we can get the ball rolling.
Hey guys, my name is John. I play the character Broker, and I'm the spy master for the Phoenix Legion.
Hello, I'm Aries. I will play Star, our druid here, and I'm the commander of the Legion.
Hi, I'm Diotima. I play Sparks. I'm a rogue, an arcane trickster of the Legion, and I hope you guys enjoy.
I'm Gaz. I'm the half-orc Oath of Redemption paladin in the Legion, and I act as the voice, apparently.
Hi, I'm Rosewood, and I am a Gloomstalker Ranger, and I act as the Scoutmaster for the Legion.
Alright, and I'm Mark. I'll be your Dungeon Master for tonight. We are on episode 2, 2 sessions out of the prologue. The Legion is on the run. They suffered a great loss in a battle against an orc warband, where the warband's god showed up, which happened to be an ancient blue dragon named Thundarmaw. Thundarmaw chased off a good chunk of the men, as an ancient dragon hasn't been seen in over 1,000 years in this world. The Legion broke under the fear of the creature and fell before the horde of orcs. They regathered at their camp to assess their numbers and try to rebuild their forces before heading home. The commander of the Legion was lost in the battle, and so Star took up the sword of the Legion and became the commander at the behest of the other officers, and with their blessing and agreement. In the midst of their triage of their casualties, the camp was ambushed by orc outriders. The dragon was told of the location of their camp, and they were forced to flee, running to a series of desert caravans that could get them out of harm's way due to the speed of their sand skiffs. They bargained a price to travel from where they are. They were given 2 options. They could take the long road through the desert, or they could return to the civilized world of Oredin and one of the ports along the coast of the cities, along the coast of the country, with the aid of the skiff captain. But it would be more expensive, though it would take less time. And so we pick up with them camping after a day of travel at a cool desert oasis under a cliff bluff, assessing once more what they have available to them as far as men and resources before wandering home after 10 years in the desert. And we will pick up with Star and Sparks, Broker, Whistler, and Gaz sitting around a campfire discussing the troop losses as of right now. Broker, you've been made to do a troop count, being that you're the information broker of the Legion, the spy master, and you've realized that after fleeing, you have about 500 unwounded men and about 300 wounded scattered about these caravans, or scattered about these skiffs in the caravan.
Alright. How many did we start out with?
Well, you start before the battle against the orcs. You had about 3,500. After the battle against the orcs, you had significantly less. There were about 1,200 dead, about 1,200 missing, and about 1,200 fighting and wounded available at the camp when it was attacked by the orcs. And now you're left with roughly 800 men.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So, after reviewing, we took a heavy blow. We have about 800 left. 300 wounded, 500 unwounded.
It is good that we are going home quicker then.
Yeah.
Sad to say, but given what we contended with, that's actually pretty good, I think.
Yes, it could have been way, way worse.
So, how do you want to go about traveling? Seeing as
Well-
though we have a lot of wounded.
First of all, we need to figure out, we need to pay the captain. He's been very gracious waiting for us to pay him. And after that, then I think the wounded maybe should travel with people that can take care of their wounds.
I'm sure we have some of the healers up, and I can even assist if need be.
That's true.
Also,
Yes,
while
and
we're
lay on hands
also
and healing
while
spells.
sorry,
That's okay.
while we're here, maybe we should make some patrols, just to make sure nothing comes while we're resting.
I can get my scouts on that.
I could join you.
How is our prisoner?
Tied up.
Yeah, is he awake yet?
He's awake. Did you
How
gag
we-
him or just bind him?
How we-
Bound him. I just bound him.
Okay. Then he is muttering himself.
Yeah, 3 sets of manacles.
He's muttering him to himself in Orcish at the moment, but he is bound and realizes that he really has nowhere to go from here.
Question: did we check
Can I
his
understand-
pockets?
Can I
Question: did we
overhear
check
what he's
his?
saying?
You
Overhear
can.
what he's saying while he's muttering?
Yes, you can overhear what he is saying. It's mostly him berating himself for being captured, and grumbling about kind of wondering when and if he's going to even get fed by these mongrels.
Well, I can take care of that. I'll take him a plate of food and water out now.
I will go with you and with
Quality, not like high quality.
and I will check his pockets.
Okay.
And I'll be taking him food and water that's decent quality but not high quality.
Understood. All right.
And spoon feed it to him if need be. Comes the airplane though.
He says in Orcish, having you feed me is undignified.
I'm there. Can I
Can I
say
trust you if I
I'm
unbind your
there, can I-
wrists?
if I feed you will be more dignified?
An orc warrior should not be spoon-fed by children. I would rather him
And I
feed
trust
me.
you if I unbind your wrists.
I have nowhere to go. You have my weapons.
It was binds then for the wrists only, though, keeping his ankle shackled.
Okay. Sparks, you were asking about checking his pockets, correct?
Yes.
He so you took his weapons and he was prepared for war. He doesn't really, he's wearing armor and not doesn't have like pockets per se. You he had saddlebags on his mount, but his mount is not here. So what he has with him is what he would need to go into battle.
Is he not carrying anything magical with him?
No, not at all. You find that's not true. You find the sending stone that he had used to contact the dragon when he arrived. You had seen him speaking into that stone as he approached on Wargback, and you have found that tucked into an inner pocket of his armor.
Now, can I check how the sending stone works? Is it just one way, or is listening, or is hearing, or like?
Give me an Arcana roll. That's pretty dang good. So sending stones generally come in pairs. Each smooth stone is carved with an arcane symbol that matches the other stone. And while you touch the stone, you can use an action to cast the sending spell from it. And the target of the sending spell is whoever bears the other stone. If no creature bears the other stone, you know that as soon as you use the stone, and so the spell does not get cast. Once sending is cast through the stone can't be used again until the next day. So as of right now, this stone was used in the battle earlier this day, but after dawn, you know that you will be able to use it again to send a message through it. If one of the stones in the pair is destroyed, the other one will become non-magical.
But so far, it is active. Well, it is magical right now.
It is magical, as far as you can tell. It is still active. However, it has no charges. It can't be used again today. But you know that by dawn, it should be usable again.
Okay, perfect. I will put it in my pocket.
Would you tell Star about this or anyone else?
I'll think about it.
Gaz is there, so he sees you search the orc.
It only works with the sending.
Sorry, Gaz, say that again.
It only works with its partner, right?
That is correct. It only works with his partner.
Question.
Yes.
If so the orc used the stone to send a message, but can the other stone send a message today?
It can, but you don't know if it has or not.
Hello?
Did you hear me?
We're here. Oh, now we can.
Oh, okay. I said that, yes, the other stone could be used to cast sending as well from that stone. However, you have no idea if it's been used or not.
Fair enough. I will leave gas with the orc chief, and before I leave, I said to the orc, "Well, I know it's not the best of circumstances for you, but we mean you no harm, and well, I would really like if we could all be friends. So if you need anything, please let me know. Within reason, of course. Have a good day." And walk back where Star is.
The orc war chief looks at, listens to what Sparks says, and looks at Gaz and says with a grunt, "Rather polite for a captor, isn't she?"
I'd like to think I think most of us are about that polite, actually.
You have become tame with these humans.
I see no problems with that. So, would you like to tell me about your tribe?
Depends on what you are asking.
Come again, I didn't quite get.
That depends on what you are asking me.
Well, how about a name of the tribe for starters?
We are the Skyfire tribe. We are servants of the great Thundarmaw.
We are servants of the great Thundarmaw.
Sorry, gotta go at the moment, so cut to someone else for the time being.
Yeah, that's fine. So you're having a conversation with the orc
Yeah,
war
that's
chief.
fine. So you're having a conversation with the orc war chief.
Can I go sit next to Gaz?
You can.
I'd like to listen in on their conversation.
No problem.
Okay, do the push to talk. Yeah, I'll be back in about 5 minutes, so go to someone else in the meantime.
I'd like to talk to the war chief. Why do
Okay.
you serve the dragon?
We can't hear you.
Oh,
Yeah.
me or
I've
No,
heard
the-
you. I've heard you.
okay?
She is mighty. When she came to us in times long ago, she came in the form of an orc and defeated our greatest chieftain. She has united us and given us purpose, and therefore we follow her, for she has great power that cannot be defeated. And so the Skyfire tribe shall not be defeated. I am but one of many. Someone else will step into my place.
So she can transform. How many battles have you fought?
Many. Too many to
Just-
number.
Just us?
No. We were there when we entered the human lands. I was there. Before that, my tribe battled many of the others. We overcame their leaders. We are the strongest.
With her help, of course.
With her gracious aid. He says in Orcish. So if you don't understand Orcish, you don't understand what he just said.
Gaz would be translating.
Okay.
That's okay. I'm gonna talk to him in Orcish.
Nice.
With gracious... I'll just translate back. With gracious aid, indeed.
You speak the tongue not well, but you speak it.
Let's just say I've had some practice. How long have I been talking to him?
Oh, only a few minutes.
Okay. Just to taunt him a little bit, I'm going to use Master of... Is it Master of Tricks? Master of Intrigue. And I'm gonna mimic his speech patterns. Is that a little better for you?
He sneers. You are a trickster.
Call me what you...
There is value in...
I wasn't sure what you said there, Gaz. It was a little rough.
There is value in tricksters. I'm sure they're aware of that, especially in combat.
To some. While the two of you are speaking with the Orc War Chief, Star, Silver, one of your junior officers, approaches and sits down, or stands at your side.
Yes, is there a problem?
No, Commander. Reporting that I spoke with Captain Card at his request. I thought it would be prudent to inform you of what he said.
Go on.
Captain Card expects the forward payment for the journey at some point. He has been willing to be gracious, as I was once a part of his crew. He'll let us stay on for a little while, but he is expecting forward payment. He also wanted me to make the officers aware that the next leg of the journey, we will approach it tomorrow, and that the weather will be dangerous, and that the travel that we will be taking is not exactly easy. That we should be prepared for anything, and that it would be appropriate to have some way of protecting ourselves from dust storms moving forward.
Interesting. Thank you for telling me. And inform him that we do have the payment. We just need to reconvene the other leaders.
Silver, before you go and talk to the captain again, now that you mentioned that you were part of his crew, what's your take on him?
Silver gives a wry smile. Permission to speak freely, Commander?
Always.
Captain Card is a bit wild. You never know what to expect with him. Unless money is involved, he'll do what you pay him for, of course. That's where his heart lies. He's a scoundrel, so I wouldn't trust him with information, and I wouldn't trust him necessarily with your life. But I would trust him as far as your coin can stretch.
Silver, Can you also get the other captains, please, for me?
Can do. Gaz and Broker, Silver jogs over to where you are. Sirs, you've been requested at the officer's campfire.
All right.
Understood. How over with the meal is the captive?
He's been eating throughout your conversation. Mostly done. He guzzled a lot of it down. He was starving.
Okay, I'll take the, nod towards him, hand out it to take the plate and then reshackle him.
One more thing before you do, I wanted to ask one more question.
Go ahead. You can ask as you're getting up and.
Okay. One more thing, for the time being.
What do you
Did
want?
your dragon mention others?
Other what?
Others like her.
No. But if there were others like her, and her purpose was to kill you for knowing that she existed, do you think I would be stupid enough to open my mouth about it? And he gives you a death glare.
Yep. Fair point.
Yes.
She will find you. I will be rescued, and you will all die a terrible, painful death by the Skyfire.
I know I said one last question, but I do have one more. You said before that you're loyal. Is she loyal to you?
He smiles and closes his eyes and rests his head back against the stone that he's propped up against. She is loyal to all of her children.
Is he lying?
Give me an insight check.
Yep. Can someone roll an insight check for me as well?
I gotcha.
I appreciate it.
Of course. Broker, he is not. There's no deception in his words, and Gaz, you rolled a 24. So not only do you know that he's not lying, but you also know that the level of conviction in his person is that of someone who fully and completely believes what he is saying. Fervently.
So presumably he's seen this firsthand in the past. That's worrying.
Maybe he's seen it firsthand, but regardless of whether he has the faith of a true believer, kind of a vibe coming on from him. Also,
So yeah, definitely
I'm sorry, go ahead.
So yeah, definitely disconcerting.
Indeed. Yeah, absolutely. And Broker, by the way, you have an inspiration point to use throughout the session, thanks to our viewers at home.
Oh, cool. Thanks, guys.
The two of you approach the fire, where Sparks, Whistler, and Star are gathered. Whistler, you would have gotten your scouts out on patrol, and then as you were doing so, Silver runs up to you and says, Captain, the commander has requested your presence at the officer's fire.
While we're all there, get with the other officers of the wings and try to figure out who we lost and who we got left.
Yes, sir.
And I will head off to meet up with the rest of the captains.
Okay. You approach the fire and the others are already there. And you sit down. And what do you have to meet about? I guess I'll leave that to you guys.
We need to
Well-
pay him. He's getting antsy about it.
Well, I cannot blame him for being angsty. Whatever his faults, he did save us from the dragon, and I think we should pay him. When I was talking to him about the payment, I did mention that he could have, because I run a store in Ravensridge, he could have more items instead of payment. I don't want to be empty-handed without any gold in case we need it later. So he knows he's getting gold right now. We also have to hint that we can pay him the full sum. We just choose and think it's better for him not to pay him the full sum. I don't know if I'm making any sense.
I understand. I think we should give him half, and then once we at least get close, or at least reach our destination, we'll give him the rest. I just don't know if he'd be fine with that.
Question for you, Mark.
Yes.
So, the men of the Legion, do we need to pay them, or...
Do you need to pay them? I mean,
Okay.
yes, you will need to pay them.
Okay.
Yes.
So that puts an entirely new spin on our financial situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the reasons I thought it was better to make a deal with the captain and don't have a little bit of money for our men.
My expectation is that you guys have been on mission for the last 10 years, so the payments are their pay has essentially been just food, clothing, and shelter while on mission, and their actual pay has been accruing over that time. They have nowhere to.
Oh no.
You know what I mean?
We have 10 years back pay. Oh shit.
Yeah, and we have nothing.
So presumably that includes our own back pay, but it would all be from the kingdom rather than from our pockets.
Yes,
Exactly.
you would be paid out of the king's treasury when you return.
Okay.
I'm assuming that there would have been enough advanced money given to provide a stipend to the officers and all the members of the Legion while you are in the desert. But as far as anybody knows, the desert is inhabited by savage war tribes and orc raiders and not much else. You all have learned that there is much more civilization out in the desert than is presumed by the quote-unquote civilized lands. And those stipends have come in handy over the course of the last 10 years. But as far as the actual pay for the men, there was no way for you to collect that from the king while you were out in the desert. So you're probably gonna end up coming back into Grovehair and at least having some form of a treasury available to you to disperse amongst your men and to use for the Legion itself. At least you should be having that money come to you.
Wish. And then, so all the money we have on our own persons is our money person.
Yeah, it would be whatever stipends you were given by, um, as a part of your mission, as well as any money that the Legion was able to make, gather, or raid as they were in the desert. So yeah. Remember, you've been surviving out here on your own. You've had to set up your own supply. You've had to probably trade with people like Captain Card for goods and services over that time. You've lost men. You've gained men. You've been on your own, surviving in a hostile environment for the last 10 years.
Guys,
If someone's speaking, I cannot hear them.
I think we're all just thinking.
Okay.
Um.
Well,
So-
that on the plus side, that does mean that we easily have enough to cover, because I think I've got 90, and I know others have some like 200, 100.
I have 255, but I'd rather not use my entire sum.
And
Yeah,
I-
I have like
I've-
103.
Yeah, I've got 265, but I'd
I
rather
think-
not use that.
And I believe that
But for the 350, we can easily break it into 5 parts.
Right. Like, I'm willing to give 150.
And the agreement with Captain Card was for half up front and then half when you arrive in Ravenreach. Is that correct?
Yeah.
It was yes. Well,
Half,
it was half the money in gold and the other.
and the other in
in
goods,
Ravenreach.
right?
Yes.
Right.
We can do 35 each for right now. Does anyone not have enough money to pay 35 right now?
It's
It would be 70 each.
yeah, it's 350 now and then 350 in goods when you arrive. The total
okay,
was
okay.
700. Yeah.
So 70 right now.
I don't mind paying 70.
Anyone mind taking part of my share? Because that way I can do like 45 and have 45 left.
I'll do it.
I'll give Sparks my share.
Well, thank you.
I appreciate it.
Okay. So you gather the 350 from amongst you. Just adjust your gold. So Sparks has how much? 45 available?
46, and
46.
yeah, and Star told me that she was going to lend me the money.
Yes.
Okay.
So I have 161 left. Okay.
All right. So
I gave
Um,
140.
okay.
And so that's for Gaz's share.
Gotcha. Okay. And Gaz and Sparks are throwing in like 45 each, and the rest of you, the other three are throwing in 70, and then Star and Broker, you're covering the rest, or was that Whistler?
I only have 103, so I can't
Okay.
I can't really go that much.
So Star and Broker are covering the balance for Sparks and Gaz.
Mhm.
Okay.
All right. So we have enough money to give him.
You do.
I think I'll go and give him the money.
Okay. Captain Card sits at a fire in the middle of like this ring of his sand skiffs. He has some of the other like pilots of his other skiffs are sitting around with him, and he like has a girl kind of hanging off him, sitting on his lap almost, and he's telling some kind of story in a language that you're not familiar with, and the men are laughing raucously. They're passing around wineskins, and just treating this like this is a grand old camping trip. They're making money off of these passengers, and they're doing just fine.
Captain, I got your money here.
Ah, Sparks, yes. I am glad to hear that. Come, sit by our fire, if you would.
I will go and sit somewhere where there's not people around me.
Uh,
Or as far away, or, well, no one touching me, basically.
right. They make a little room for you to sit down, and he holds out his hand for the payment. Can I see what you have brought me, please?
350 that we talk about.
Are you like? Is it in a pouch, or do you just have a pile of gold in your hands?
I will say it's in a pouch.
Okay. He takes the pouch, and he pulls out like a silk cloth dyed in rich colors, and lays it out on the sand in front of him, between him and the fire, and he starts pulling out one coin at a time from the bag and checking it and tossing it, like placing it onto the cloth to check it. So, have you been finding our men and our camp hospitable to you and your people?
You're being very gracious. We cannot thank you enough. I was wondering, you must have gone to a lot of places, right?
Well, we have been around, haven't we, boys? And they all laugh as he says that. He's still like counting your money one at a time, making sure that each coin is gold and examining it closely. And the thanks are not the thanks are not needed. I take gold instead.
I do the same, but it also goes in a great place if you can also be gracious, good service provider. I always, when I do, be as polite as possible.
And that
So
makes you a wonderful guest aboard our vessels.
Well, thank you. So have you met a lot of people? Like, have you ever met, I don't know, other species like dragonborns?
Have I ever met a dragonborn?
Hmm.
Yes, I have met a dragonborn once.
Really?
Indeed, I
Like
have.
outside of the island?
In fact, it was outside of the islands, yes.
Oh,
It was here in the desert.
really? Oh, can I insight check him to see if he's pulling my leg?
Yeah, go ahead.
There.
He is, as far as you can tell, he is telling you the God's honest truth.
Hmm. That's so strange to find a dragonborn so far away from home. Hmm.
It was.
Have
and
you?
That is why I remembered this particular encounter.
Hmm. Well, have you also ever gone to the dragon?
No, I have never been to the islands. They are far, and even by the secret ways that I use to get from place to place, it is not possible with those islands.
Hmm.
The storms make it too dangerous for the type of ships that I sail, for we are mere skiffs on the water.
Yes, of course, I understand that. How intriguing. So is that dragonborn that you met? Could we find him along the way where we are going, like from here?
Sadly, I do not believe so.
Such a pity.
He was
I
very...
never met a dragonborn. That would be.
Most people have not met a dragonborn. I consider myself lucky to have looked upon such a regal and noble creature. He was truly Truly an incredible man. I do not know if I would ever meet one such as him. He was...
Do you
I'm sorry.
Sorry, do you happen to know his name?
His name was Galbaz. He was a warrior. He was in exile from the islands. Apparently he had sought the wrong hand and was turned away from his people by one of their rulers. Or so his story went. I do not know if it is true or not. But he was here, an old warrior wandering the desert alone. I do not know if he still survives. But I guess he would be the stuff of legend, even out here in the desert. Would you not say so?
Absolutely. Like, you are so lucky to have find a Dragonborn. I always dream to finding Dragonborns. They're supposed to be great knowledge of magic, and can you imagine just the history that they have lived? Ah, so fantastic.
I see you are a fan of the legends of the dragons.
Yes, that's one of the reasons I was interested in see if you have ever been to the Dragon Islands. Like, those are probably the people that will actually believe us if we tell them about dragons. Or, you never ask him how to get into the islands, because, like, just thinking about it, that will also be a great business opportunity. Being the first people that can go into the islands and make commerce with them.
I asked him once about doing such a thing. And he kind of gently pushes the girl off his, off of him and leans in close to you.
I try to lean not close because personal space.
He told me never to ask again, or he would have to kill me. And I would advise you that if you ever meet a Dragonborn, you do not ask them their secrets, for they are deadly creatures, and would as soon kill you as befriend you. That is just from me to you. And he goes to pat your knee gently, like a father in a fatherly way.
Before he does that, I use my mage hand and just slap him. Because I'm sorry, but like I am very, 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 very afraid of people touching me. I'm really, really afraid that.
Oh no, my greatest apologies. I did not mean to offend. I was unaware. Please.
Yes, no. Like I'm really deeply sorry. It has caused me a lot of issues and problems. I
Say
apologize.
No more. Say no more.
So
he's still counting your coins, by the way.
That's fine. Like, you do good counting of money. I do the same thing. I always count money in front of people. It's a good business practice.
I do not want to come off as if I do not trust you. It is just that I trust no one.
Of course.
His men laugh when he says that.
And I'm unfazed because I will say, well, I will do the same thing if I'm a mercenary / merchant in the desert. It's the only proper way to live, right?
I could not have said it better myself. If it seems that it is all here and in order, I do appreciate that. And he folds up the he deftly folds the cloth that he counted the money on, like scooping up all of the money in the cloth, and in a quick motion is able to like funnel the money from the cloth back into the pouch that you gave him, and he tucks the pouch and the cloth away into his tunic. And it's all in one very smooth and practiced motion. If you do not mind, my men and I were discussing tomorrow's travel. I would suggest you prepare for some rough seas, as it were.
Of course. I'm glad we can do business, and as I told you before, I'm hoping that after we reach Raven's Reach, we can continue doing business.
If it is in profit for each of us, I would say that that will continue to happen. I am a man who is always ready to make some money.
So am I. And then I stand up and go back.
Okay.
I'm actually going to go over to the captain, if you don't mind.
Okay.
And I'm just going to sit down across from him. You're probably not expecting me to go over there.
No, especially since Sparks was already here. He shoos his men that are at the fire as he sees you approach to move out of your way, so that you can sit down. Ah, Commander Starr, please have a seat. It is a pleasure to have you at my fire.
It is no problem. I just only wish to talk about the weather and the travels ahead of us.
Indeed, of course. What would you like to know?
Tell me more about it, I suppose, since I am a druid and I might be able to help or assist in some way.
I do not think so. Our navigator is also a druid, and he will be guiding us through this storm. We will travel through the deepest dunes of the desert. They are high. They are easily shifted by the winds. Once we pass through there, we will be approaching a great storm. It is a never-ending whirlwind of sand and wind that engulfs a particular area of the desert. Have you ever seen it?
Have I?
That's up to you.
Once, but that was a long time ago.
Have you ever been inside it? I'm going to say
Only
you have
seen it
not.
Yeah, I've only seen it from afar.
Most people think that if they approach it, they will die. And for most people, that is true. But we have our ways of navigating the storm, and what is in its eye, which is where exactly we are going. So I would suggest that you prepare your men to enter a devastating sandstorm. You will need protection of the face and eyes.
Thank you.
Of course.
And I'm going to get up and just warn the men and just have it spread word that what's going to happen.
When you approached the fire and he shoot his men, he stood up and welcomed you to sit down. And now that you're leaving, he stands up again as you depart. And he makes his men do that too, even though they're obviously intoxicated and kind of a little more than jovial. At your behest, we hope to be off first thing in the morning.
That sounds wonderful. Thank you. Again.
He bows. One of his men burps as they go to sit down, and he slaps him in the chest and starts chewing him out in a language that is unfamiliar to you.
Star's just gonna chuckle at that and wave him off. It's fine. I do not mind.
He nods to you, and then goes back to berating his pilot for doing such a thing. You return to the rest of the officers.
I'm just going to inform one of the lieutenants, or at least one of the younger officers, to just tell everyone, have them spread the news and stuff like that, so everyone is prepared and have what they need as necessary for the storm ahead.
Okay.
Make sure to tie down the food and water, and make sure that the supplies are secured and safe. Just making sure that we're all ready and prepared.
Okay. Um, that night, you have probably the first good night's rest, where you all feel that you are in a place of safety. Probably since you prepared to go into battle that fateful day when you first saw the dragon.
The ancient blue dragon.
Yes, the ancient blue dragon. The one that's hunting you.
Yeah, that's nice.
But Card has assured you this is a safe place. And you prepare to head out, getting as much rest as you can, and setting sail on the dunes in the sand skiffs the next morning. Morning comes early, and Card's men are already preparing their skiffs, tying down goods, and as you've instructed, your men are doing whatever they can to help. Everybody has used whatever extra clothing or cloaks they've had to cover their face as best they can. And after everything's tied off and the sails are unfurled, the caravan heads out into the Dune Sea. The journey is jovial at first. Men laughing and talking and working with both just kind of song and an optimistic feel to the crew and to your men. And then... Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. While everyone is like being jovial and doing their own stuff, I will go stealthy next to Broker and ask him to come with me to the most emptiest part of the vessel.
There's not a lot of space. The vessels are not particularly large, so you find a space where you might be able to like get a little bit of privacy, but it's really crowded. Like, these skiffs are not meant to have hundreds of soldiers on them. Everybody's packed in pretty close.
That's fine. I will start talking to Broker in Draconic. Broker, did you get any good information from the Orc Chief about the dragon?
Well, not much we don't already know. We know that she's powerful. Orcs seem pretty faithful to her. I did find out that they can that she can transform. In fact, she showed up to the orcs as an orc. Basically bested their best man and, well, has became their god ever since.
So she just started conquering tribe after tribe and basically amassing followers?
Essentially, yeah. He doesn't know if there's more than one.
Well, I'm not surprised that she can transform into a person. Like basically illusion spells and transformation spells. Most people can do it. She, being as powerful as she is, I'm not surprised that she can transform into a person.
Okay.
Well,
how do you feel about it?
Oh, I am ecstatic about it. You know me. I like dragons. I always dream about dragons and meeting dragons. Do you think
You do
here's
know.
here's here's my thought. If she's so powerful, why does she need to conquer people? Like, why does she need people? Like, does she care about these people, or is she just being utilitarian and more like egotistical?
Oh, that's a good question. Also, you do know she can kill us, right?
She can kill us, broker. Like the desert killed half the legion a couple of times. Like I, the question is why, broker? Why amass? Why unify the orcs? If she just wanted to kill them, she could just go tribe after tribe, killing all of them. Then why amass such people to then try to conquer the quoted civilized people? Like what go to Orlands? Is she trying to recreate ancient history, perhaps, like trying to make an empire? Or is she just trying to amass wealth? Does she cares? Is there more than one? I think we should try to find as much as information as we can.
I agree.
Good, because, well, I haven't told the others because I don't know how they will take it. They don't value information as much as we do. There might be a way we can send a message to her. What do you think?
If you
I'll agree that that's a fascinating question. And sorry, that's a rather fascinating question. That yeah, we should probably ask our prisoner that.
Just so you're aware, Gaz, I don't know if you were a part of this, but Sparks kind of pulled Broker aside to talk to him about this. So you
We're
may.
speaking
Oh,
Draconic.
Oh, sorry, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
catch that part. Sorry.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure you were aware of that. They are speaking in Draconic, and kind of pulled, kind of sequestered themselves into a corner as best they could.
Personally, I think that would be. Yes, we should find a way to contact her. But maybe not in a way that would potentially lead her straight to us. So, unless you have a way of contacting someone.
Well, I have a sending stone. We can send a message and maybe she will reply, or she could just destroy the other sending stone and don't bother. That's that's a way we could at least try to open a communication with her. Because if she's smart enough to amass people, maybe she will be willing to parley. Maybe.
Okay, one, you have a sending stone.
Yes.
Where did you get it?
Well, the orc chief, of course.
Okay. Two, I think this would be a thing to tell everyone. As much as I would love to talk to and get information from a giant blue dragon, considering what has happened already, I think we should probably tell the others.
Sure, they're going to want to talk to her, and they're not going to be as nice about it, or maybe as diplomatic as we could be. And basically, we are the only two people can speak Draconic, and I think it should be a good thing to speak with her in Draconic, so maybe at least she will try to listen.
Maybe, but
Look,
again, they
she already wants to kill us. Like, we cannot make this worse. And she probably will try contacting her or not. She will try to kill us anyway. Try to find us and kill us, because if she's valuing her privacy and the thing that maybe no one knowing that she exists, she will try to track us and kill us anyway.
Yeah, but the difference now is that we're going to a place with a lot more people, innocent people.
I agree, but here's the thing. She can fly. She could have done that beforehand. Why didn't she came in the first place and attack a big city and then try to make, I don't know, followers from a big city? There's something here that we do not know. Like, put her in her place. You're a big, gigantic, ancient dragon. You can fly, you can destroy thousands of people. Nobody is prepared for you. Will you really waste your time pretending to be an orc and trying to reunite all these little tribes to make an army? Why don't, in that case, be, I don't know, go and transform into a person, kill a king, and take the place of the king? That would be way easier. Or just go into a city and start destroying and making mayhem.
That does sound.
See, it like there's like, why now? Like, I don't know. There's something here, broker. Like, I, there's something weird about the whole situation. And I mean, I don't know.
Okay, well, how about this? Um, how exactly does the sending stone work?
It only works once a day. Like, if I use it to send a message, uh, it will only be once a day, and maybe she could do the same thing. And what worries me is that she could destroy the other one, or like just toss it into the side. So I don't want to wait too long into contacting her.
Okay, well, how about this? She has to be on the other end.
Yeah.
So why not we wait for a response? She's If she is loyal to the orcs, like the chief said, she'll respond, figure out what happened, because obviously she has to know.
Or
Why don't
maybe
we wait?
she's waiting for the orc to contact her first, and if he doesn't contact her, she will assume he's dead and toss the stone.
I still think we should tell the others first. After we tell the others, then we can talk to her.
Fine. You're right. Okay, let's go and talk to the rest of the group. But I want to be the one who talks to the dragon. I
Fair enough.
Okay, perfect.
It's all yours.
So we go and find the others.
Sure, that's easy enough to do.
Um, guys, guess what? There might be a tiny little kind of possibility in which we might be able, perhaps, to send a message to that blue dragon. Maybe.
And how will we do that?
Why?
Well, answering the first question is I kind of might have in my possession a sending stone. And why? Because if she's smart enough to pass as a person and then going tribe by tribe, uniting people, it will means that she has either a political agenda or something else. And we might be able to have a chat with her, trying to find what's going on.
And where did you get this sending stone to the dragon?
The Orc chief.
And when did you find it on him?
Oh, Gus saw me taking it out from him
When was this?
when we went to feed him.
And how long ago was that, DM?
That was the night before.
It was a couple of hours ago, and before I know where you're going with this.
It was
Star.
after you guys
First
ate
of all,
your meal.
it's this sending stone can only be activated every 24 hours. So I haven't used it. I was debating what to do about it. So I came and talked to you about it.
And your first reaction was to not tell me about it.
My first reaction was conversing about it with the other person that values information and see if it's even a good idea to use the stone. And after
Agreed, man.
conversing, then we came and tell you that it might be a value on information.
Sparks,
Yes,
do you not know what I represent? What I am now?
you are the chief commander.
And you decide to withhold information from me about something of our greatest enemy that we've ever faced. The one who
Star.
tried to kill us twice.
Why, Star? Why does he try to kill us? Like, I was telling Broker, if she has the power to transform into anything and anyone, why not just go into a city, kill someone?
Wait. Before you continue, she can transform?
Yes.
And I was not told of that as well?
I haven't been told here.
I don't know if. Would you, just to make sure, we don't skip over anything. Would Broker have told the commander everything he learned in that conversation?
Yeah.
Okay, then.
Same with Gaz.
Yeah, Gaz and Broker probably would have talked to you that night about what they found out.
Okay, because it's
Yeah.
like I wasn't told anything,
Yeah.
and it's like, what?
We kind of moved past that part of what that conversation might have been. So I don't want to assume that it didn't happen unfairly to the other members of the party. Would they have told you, if that makes sense?
Especially being the commander, it's like,
Okay,
So you
Well-
know that she can transform,
into
and you
people.
know that Star. You know that she can at least disguise her appearance, and you know that the orcs are completely loyal to her, as far as Gaz could tell, and any other information that Gaz or Broker would have informed you of.
so Star, if she can transform into anyone and she wants to conquer, why not just go to a major city, kill the king or the big boncho there, and transform into that person?
because
I feel like it's more complicated than that.
yeah,
Really? She could just do a lot of mayhem, come into a dragon form, destroy half the city, then once there's chaos, get into the city and
So
eliminate people. It's way easier than going tribe after tribe and massing this army of
That's
people. Why? Like, why, Star?
the reason she wouldn't go after kings is because they usually have a council they answer to. So it's much harder to impersonate one person when you have to answer to a bunch of other people. As for tribes, I just assume she's kind of like the orcs and she's just a savage who wants to kill. I mean,
as well as the rest of the world will know what happened and be able to just all converse on this one dragon
If she,
without
if they can find her, like, if they can find her, but if no one knows she can transform into anyone, she could rise up as the savior or something. Like, it's like someone who can transform into any person and
not
has
the
that
caster.
power.
how do
Like-
we know it's any person? How do we know it's not just one form, right?
I suppose for the same reason druids can transform in multiple forms. If
Yeah, and a
Like-
wizard can find out if that is the real thing or not. Wizards are able to do that, and of course they'd be checking this one person.
what will they know? They check on a dragon if they're looking? How can they check on a dragon if they're
We're basing a
looking
lot
for
of things on
dragon?
stuff we don't know. Maybe we should just table this idea for right now until we're more safely secure.
How about this? How far are we until our destination?
You ask that question, and as you do, you come over a dune, and you can see, not far off in the distance, the biggest sandstorm that you have ever seen in your entire life. The winds are whipping up and kicking dust about you. You don't even know how close you are to the storm, but it takes up the entire horizon already, even from the distance that you're at. And you kind of have to cover your mouths and face immediately after going over this dune with whatever cloth you have available, because the wind and sand is starting to whip up all over.
So how far are we from our sand?
I'm going to just grab my cloak and just pull it over me and just tie like a makeshift scarf around my mouth and nose, and I want to take my scribe's pen out and just write in the air so Sparks can see. Give me the stone.
No, you cannot speak Draconic. And if we want to try to have a conversation with her, if we speak her language, it probably will be easier.
Star will rewrite again. I am the commander. I have the final say. Give me the stone, please.
Do you mind if we ask the advice of our prisoner first?
I mind, because I don't like him, and I think his head should be on a pike. So, a little bit.
Can we get through the storm first?
Fair point.
Everybody make
We
Constitution
can
saves.
live to ask questions.
Does this boat not have a like a cabin that we can?
It is
converse
not
on?
like a huge ship. It's a skiff.
Okay.
There's like a captain's cabin on it, or like a storage cabin below. But remember, you also have a boatload of men on every one of these skiffs that usually only transport goods and a skeleton crew. And so like everybody's just kind of stuck on deck, if that makes sense.
Sparks. You need to trust me now. I am your leader. I will do what is right for us. I will consider what you are saying with the highest degree. But
Okay, here is my concern, Star. Um,
I still need
this
Constitution
thing.
saves from everybody when they get a chance, please.
Okay, this stone might not work later on, so we're in a time crunch here. If we decided not to use it right now, we might not be able later on. And I think the more information we have on her, the better.
we can't use it right now anyways. But I will consider and I'll tell you as soon as the storm ends.
Oh, continue your conversation. That's fine. Sorry. So the winds are whipping up, and as you get closer, and the sand is belting all of you more actively as you approach. Gaz and Whistler and Sparks, all of you kind of have to hunker down and cover your faces as much as possible because you're just getting battered around by these winds and this sand and the constant constant bombardment of these elements. And so you kind of find a place to you have to find shelter before you lose your balance, and you kind of fall prone to the deck in these winds.
Do we have to roll to find shelter, or
No. You're prone and you're kind of covering yourselves up, even as the other members of the Legion are still able to hold themselves steady in the face of the elements.
I'm gonna get squared away with your men. Y'all figure this out. I'm gonna kind of crawl away to where most of my men are.
Okay.
Star, speaking of giving things, do you still happen to have that potion that I gave you?
I wasn't given one, I believe.
During the fight?
Oh yes, I hand it back to him if he needs it.
Thank you. I'm gonna head towards the captain, see if he needs any help getting through the storms.
That is fine. The captain is standing on the pilot deck, just kind of pointing which way they need to go.
Captain, any assistance?
We have done this many times before. Just take cover and make sure you are not pulled off of the skiff.
On it. Is there anybody that looks like they're about to fall off?
Yeah, you see a couple of injured members of your party, or of your forces that are having trouble hanging on.
Okay, I'm gonna go and help them. I'm gonna take a rope out of a bag, tie it around my waist, tie it to wherever on the skiff, and try and pull some of them in.
Okay.
And then tell them to go get into cover.
Okay. Go ahead and give me let's say an athletics roll. Nice. So yeah, you're able to help wrangle them and pull them in, and you send them in the direction to get shelter, so that they can hunker down. And they take some rope and they start tying themselves down to the deck.
Come on, Nat 1
A-
athletics.
So you're approaching the storm, and the storm is battering against all of you. You're all kind of hunkering down as best you can, tying yourselves off, tying off the men, and the captain is steering, and he calls down to one of his men that are on the deck, and he yells, "Now! Wake Topaz now!" The man on deck kind of pushes himself through the wind and gets to the door of the small cabin on the skiff and pounds on the door 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, and just keeps pounding. And then eventually the door pops open. And this wizened Earth Ganassi with this long beard the color of granite hobbles out of the cabin. He walks holding onto this staff that is made of this petrified white wood and wrapped in blooming cactus flowers. His clothes are these loose robes that kind of hang off him, and you can see like between them that he is covered in some kind of tribal markings from head to toe. The men who are around him as he walks out onto the deck, those who are members of the crew, they quickly give him both space and deference, almost bowing to him. And you notice that he is completely unaffected by the sandstorm. He wears no protective clothing, and the storm kind of bends around him. Seeing the plight of the men with what look to be unseeing eyes, he pounds his staff upon the deck of the ship and begins speaking and chanting in whatever language that the men of the ship were speaking. And suddenly, a counterwind kicks up around the entirety of the vessel that you are on. And as it does, the force of the wind and the sting of the sand begins to dissipate. Almost like a buffer of wind has formed around the entirety of the skiff, protecting it from the storm. Another man who had ducked into the cabin when the druid walked out comes forth with a heavy metal lockbox, and he opens it after several tries and lifts the open box to the old druid. And the old druid sticks his hand into the lockbox and brings forth a stone of some kind. You can't really tell what it is because it's glowing with divine energy to the point where it's hard to look directly at. And the druid continues to mutter and raises his staff. As he does this, you're kind of watching in awe as this happens. The wind, though buffered, is still getting stronger and stronger, and you can begin to feel it kind of push in on this shield of air that is around the skiff. If you look over behind you, you can see that the other skiffs are also buffeted by this air now, as the druid holds forth both his staff and this glowing stone. The eye of the storm suddenly appears, like you pulled apart a curtain in front of you. You just go from these battering howling winds beating against this air shield to total silence. And you begin circling the inside of the eye of the storm. There is quiet, other than the captain laughing. Laughing with, like, this pure laugh of adventurous glee at the danger of all of it. You can hear again, and you can see again. You're in the eye of the storm. How do you react?
Hell, they get a man like that.
However they did it, he deserves our thanks.
I'll say.
I want to go over and check on Sparks to see if she's okay.
I'm gonna go back to the captain.
Sparks
Don't
is...
touch me! Don't touch me! I'm fine.
I'm not. I know. I wanted to apologize for what I said.
I apologize too. But you have to understand me a little bit. This is the first time I met something homish.
I know.
And I know she's our enemy and such. I just want to understand why is she our enemy. I know that we have to kill her eventually. I just want to make sure that I kill her for the right reasons and not because she is unique.
She killed our men, our fellow brothers and sisters in battle.
And we killed theirs. Star. It's war, but why did she declare war, Star? She could be thousands of years old. Maybe she sees this as reclaiming her home. We don't know.
As you're talking
She
about
could
this...
also be the only one, the last one left. Do you really want to exterminate the last of a species instead of trying to find a communication way?
As you're, so, Sparks pleads with you in this regard about the dragon, and at the same time, somebody was checking on something else. Is that correct?
Yeah, I just wanted to go back up to Captain Card.
No, yeah, he's got a manic look of just adrenaline joy on his face.
Well, that was interesting.
Oh, you have seen nothing yet. Look, and he points to the left side of the skiff where the center of the eye is. And you notice that the caravan is like swirling around the inside of the eye, and that he points, and there is just this. Well, it's like a it's like just this swirling tornado of sand that funnels down into emptiness. And you notice that the skiffs are turning more and more at a steep angle as they like descend slowly into this this hole, just this opening in the earth. That, my friend, is our destination.
I don't know what to say.
It's just a whirlpool of sand.
So we're just going through sand.
Well, you will see. You will see. Ha ha ha! Enjoy the ride, my friend. You will only do this once in a lifetime, I think.
Here's hoping. Alright then. I just don't say anything. I just stand next to him and just watch what happens.
Okay. Gaz, you were saying to the commander?
Oh, yeah, what I put in the
Yeah.
text. Commander being Star, yeah.
Yes.
With my position and what I am now, I must take everyone's interest at heart, including yours, Sparks, as well as the rest of our men.
I understand that, Commander, but she already wants to kill us. She already is going to come and try to find us if she wants to keep her secret safe. The situation cannot be worse, honestly. And this might be the only way we can try to change that. And I understand if she continues trying to kill us, yes, we should fight back and we should kill her. But what if she's the only one?
Sparks, I know I've considered this as well, but it is my decision to make.
What can we lose by trying to open communication?
I'm not saying no, Sparks. I'm saying that I need more time to think about it. Please. We are a family now. We need to trust each other. And you need to trust that I'll make the right decision. And if I do choose to side with you, I will have you do it.
You both, all of you, begin to notice that the skiffs are taking a more extreme angle as they descend into this sand whirlpool, and you can see now that you are approaching a void of emptiness. The chanting from this shaman druid is getting louder and louder, and you notice that as he was chanting and before the skiffs started to descend towards this abyss, that the crew members have actually chained the druid to the deck.
Yes, I'll just belt out. Everyone strap yourselves in. Full healthy, help the wound.
All right, make just kind of make dexterity rolls for me to tie off all of your soldiers.
Can I do
get them
athletics,
motivated.
maybe?
What's that? Yeah,
Can I
you
do
can use
athletics?
athletics. Sure.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank God.
Can I help?
Absolutely. Everybody make a roll. Everybody make a roll.
Dexterity save?
No, it's either athletics or just a straight dexterity roll, whichever is better for you. Okay. Yeah, you guys begin to help your men tie themselves off, tie themselves to each other, and prepare for this crazed descent. And the further towards the center of this funnel and towards the abyss below you go, the faster and faster around your ship is moving. The druid's chanting is getting louder and louder in your ears as his voice just lifts over the chaos of this whirlwind and this whirlpool of sand, and the glowing sphere begins to glow brighter and brighter. The stone just kind of overpowering your senses to the point where you're first squinting and then actually shielding your eyes everything around you becomes white as you approach the bottom of the abyss, and suddenly you feel like you are flipped upside down and then turned right side up, all in one smooth motion. And as the glow dissipates, you see that you're somewhere else entirely. That all 4 of the skiffs are somewhere else entirely.
I suppose this explains why he commanded such a high price.
The exhausted druid collapses to the deck of the ship, and one of the men quickly gathers up the stone as it rolls out of his hand. Before anyone can really see, they drop a heavy cloth onto the stone and kind of scoop it up and dump it into the lockbox and lock it away. And as you look around, you're in the strangest of places. You are no longer on a sand dune. It is no longer boiling hot. In fact, it almost feels cold because you are so used to being in the desert at this point. You're on still, calm waters. Completely still. And they seem shallow, though you know that there's too much of the skiff that is hidden by the surface of the water for it to truly be shallow. Heavy clouds float on the surface of this mirror calm water, and the sky all around you is like unending twilight. The stars above do not move. They just wink in place. And on one end of the horizon, you can see what looks to be sunlight coming up over it. And on the other end of the horizon, you can see a very low-hanging moon. It gives you a very odd sense. You feel almost like you have no sense of direction, like your sense of direction is completely lost. There's no wind. There's no sound. Even the sound of the men shuffling around on the deck seems muffled to you.
Can we see the sun?
No.
Because of cloud cover, or?
No, there's just no sun. Like I said, one side of the horizon seems like the same colors as either sunset or sunrise, just these purples and oranges and reds, but you don't actually see the sun. And the entire rest of the sky is the color of twilight. And on the other side of you is a low-hanging moon. And none of the stars move, and the moon doesn't move. The only thing that moves are these heavy clouds that are not in the sky, but on the surface of the water itself, and are floating around you.
I asked the captain, where are we?
Captain Card smiles. Gentlemen, ladies, welcome to the astral plane. And we will pause there for a break. We'll be right
sorry.
back.
I'm sorry. We're on the astral plane? As in capital A.
Sorry, Strex, I'm not trying to be too mean, okay? I'm trying. I'm
Yeah, I know,
sorry.
right?
You're going to make Sparks cry.
I'm just like,
What
how
do
do
you
I
mean?
answer this question?
What do you mean? Was I being too mean? What did I do wrong? Are you guys okay?
I'm fine. I'm just like,
Was it? I don't know. Did I do something?
no,
What's wrong?
no, just
No.
like for me, it's just like on the one hand, she can kill us.
Well,
On the other hand,
she already
you
wants
get to
kill
talk
us.
to a dragon, so, I mean...
Exactly. Like that. The thing is, she already wants to kill us. Like that. Like it cannot get worse, honestly.
Why do you
And
think Star is saying like, "Hey, let me make the decision.
I'll be back in.
If I do it though, I will let you talk to her. I'll do this."
Actually,
And she's
sorry. Gas would have another suggestion based on he was hearing. Was it Broker? Yeah, Broker was the one that was imitating the. Right? But anyway, we could basically use that at first and make her think the chieftain was reporting.
Yeah, we're the Legion now. She's the commander, and you guys are just not listening to her.
Well, no, he was going to offer that up as a suggestion.
I know. I just think it's like she's trying her best, but no one's listening to her.
well, you also have to take into account that it's basically for her is one in a million opportunity. Like yes, like she already wants to kill. Like in her mindset is like she already wants to kill us. We have nothing to lose, and there's lots to win.
And for Gaz, it does go back to the faith and all that.
That's a thing, though. Do you not think Star knows that? Don't you think that she would consider that?
Well, it's one of those like in character. It helps to remind.
I know. And she's been saying that. She's been pushing that. I know what you're thinking. I know what's going on. It's just you need to put faith in me being your commander that I will do the right thing.
Yes, but Sparks doesn't know if you will consider that the...
Hey, guys, I love y'all, and I'm gonna let you finish. But can we just stop for a moment and admire the fact that we are in the astral sea?
Well, that is why you start out at
Can we just stop?
No, it is not allowed.
Can we
start to get out the bitter supply?
Can we like take a moment?
Let's change gears here.
Like, not gonna stop you with the conversation. I'm just gonna let you know that we're in the astral sea. So
yeah, for Sparks, the astral sea was the dragon. So it's like cool, half day, half night.
Star's a druid. This is not nature. This is anything but nature. She's freaked out by this.
I'm intrigued.
Well, that's good for you. But still, I'm like, I'm supposed to be the commander. I feel like I'm like just not. I'm being pushed aside.
Also, you have to take into account that you're being the commander for what, 12 hours? Or a day?
I agree with that. I don't want to be the one to actually do that to a player, though, because it feels weird though, being like higher than another PC. I don't like that.
On top of that, worldview.
Yes.
You have you've entered the astral sea. You are, once it hits you where you are, kind of here for a few moments, maybe a couple of minutes. Your men are sitting quietly in awe of what they're seeing around them. And what are you all doing?
I'm gonna turn to the captain. So, this is the astral sea?
It is. We sail upon the astral sea.
Do I know what the astral sea is?
Make a
Would that be history?
History or Arcana. Either one will work.
Can I check too?
Yeah, everybody can. Anybody who wants to.
Just check in.
Anybody
Okay,
who
just
thinks
check.
that their character might know.
Oh God.
Nope. I don't think she'd know.
Yeah, Gaz is more religious minded.
Star is more nature binded. And this is anything but nature.
Who rolled painter's supplies?
I did, because I wanted to paint. That's it, though.
Oh, okay.
Spark says how the universe works.
Yeah, Sparks. You know that this is the Astral Sea. You know something about it from maybe reading or studying. What are you interested in knowing? What do you want to know if you know?
If I know how you get in and out, and are the rules of the astral sea the same as the normal planes, or normal plane?
Sure. Let me give you some information on all that.
I will look around and say out loud, "Huh, it's more pretty than what I saw in the book.
Might also be a little more unnerving than what you saw in that book. Alright.
If I jump, will I go into space?"
No.
Okay.
If you jump, you will not go into space. Alright. What you know about the Astral Sea. It can be reached from almost anywhere on the material plane, as long as you know how to reach it. The difficult part for the captain and his crew is probably transporting 4 skiffs worth of people and goods to the Astral Sea, and that's probably what all the theatrics was for. But you know that as far as your studies go, if you know where there's a portal to the astral plane, or if you are a powerful enough spellcaster, you can usually transport yourself or others to the astral plane with relative ease. You can even there are even those who can project their astral self onto the astral plane or the astral sea. It is a plane of existence that exists very close to the material plane.
Will I know if there's any dangers in here?
You know that there are a couple of dangers here. The ones that concern you the most are something called astral dreadnoughts. Astral dreadnoughts are gigantic creatures that are believed to be a manifestation of the astral plane itself to protect itself. There are also rumors of celestial creatures who can appear on the astral plane and the astral sea. And you know that there are other things. Obviously, if it's easy to transport yourself between the material plane and the astral plane, then any number of things could use it to do so, to travel. And it's said that Vidian Star-Eyed, the lore master, the god of twilight, sometimes walks the astral sea. But that's some religious nonsense and not necessarily something that everybody would believe.
So that was a question I was going to ask you. So if celestials can come here, and basically anyone who has power enough to come here, does the gods also come here?
Some. If they want to, you would assume that as gods they could do that. You also know that there are a race called the Githyanki who inhabit the astral sea and use it as their raiding grounds. And they can be very dangerous.
Knowing that, I will tell my companions, okay, guys, this place is very, very pretty, but also kind of dangerous. I would like, if possible, to be prepared for an attack of anything. Basically, anyone who is be here can be here. And there is also dangers from within the astral plane. So if we can be ready and have, I don't know, the people that are sick or something closer to the inside of the skid, and people who are more prepared for battle in the outside it. I don't know, what do you guys think?
Incidentally, how well healed were we able to get some of our forces? I'm assuming like we've got casters that could heal people.
Yeah, and I would say that it's like 80-20. The people who are wounded are the type of wounded that that just take time to heal. Broken bones and internal lacerations and things like that. Levels upon levels of exhaustion. You know what I mean? So. Star, are you still in game? Are you still here?
No, she's not. She had a family thing.
Gotcha. Okay, so I did not see...
Drop the chat, too.
Okay. No problem.
I mean, honestly, this does feel like a good stopping point if we want to call it early.
Okay, if we need to do that, that is fine. Let's, why don't we pick up with you all on the astral sea? You are sailing. You are looking about you. The captain has this quiet smile on his face, and the druid has gone back into the cabin to rest after the exertion. The clouds drift by you, and so it seems like you can't tell if you're moving on this water unless you look behind you, and you can see kind of a wake through this unmoving water, this completely calm sea. And as you look out, you see the clouds moving about you. And you can see things moving in the clouds. Huge things. Not always, not every cloud. Just every once in a while, you see movement. Terrifying, terrifying movement in this very unnerving place.
Am I near the captain?
I'm sorry?
Am I near the captain?
Yeah, you're near enough.
Okay, I will go and tell him, Captain, you are really impressive. Like, wow, 4 skids with Cargon people, and you pull us through. I have never been so happy of spending 350. honest.
Oh.
I think it's very money well spent.
And yet you did not spend 350. You spent 700, and I expect to get it because I
Of
believe
course.
I have earned it.
Yes.
And now,
when we get there, you get the other. You get all the stuff. I told you I will show you my warehouse and I'll show you my stuff, and you can pick whatever you want there. That is for that. And actually, if you want something custom made, we can also do that.
that would be quite generous of you. But first, let us get through this. All we have to do is avoid any Githyanki, and as he's about to say it, one of the men from the other skiffs shout to him, "Captain! Raiders!" and points off the edge of the deck, and off in the distance, you see something you've never seen before. It looks like a pirate ship, but it's floating about 10 feet off of the water and barreling towards the skiffs. And we'll end there. Sorry for the cutting it short tonight, but if you have joined us, thank you. If you followed us, thank you very much. All of our schedule is down below. We play D&D. We play this campaign every Monday night. It is called A Company of Fools. You can follow us on Discord and Twitter, and I will post our videos on YouTube. Also, if you enjoyed what you watched, I have a game on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday as well. They are all listed on the schedules below. Thank you again so much for the follows. You can also feel free to subscribe. If you have Amazon Prime, you can give out a free subscription every month. Please, if you have the means and are willing to, throw that at us if you like what you saw. We also have we also take donations down below, and we have a Patreon as well, where you can find out about some of the other things that I am trying to do besides just the channel here. And if you want, you can be generous. It is not expected, and it is always appreciated. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.